Hey Mark, the guitar guy here, and as promised, we're going to break down We're going to break down by Crash Test Dummies with some awesomized chords, okay? Now, I love to do awesomized versions of these songs. And by the way, if you've never seen these videos before, and this is the first one you've jumped on, and you're going, what's he going on about with awesomizing chords? We are breaking down the song Crash Test Dummies, and it just happens to be this song. And what we do is we do this every week. We get a new song, we break it down, we show you how to do the easy version so anyone can play it, and we also show you how to do the version with all the cool little extra things which sometimes actually aren't that hard to do, like today. Some of the chords are actually easier to do than some of the bar chords we're going to do. So let's do that now with this song. So we've got the first part of this song, we've got an F sharp minor and a C sharp minor. So what we're going to do is replace all our F sharp minors with this different version of an F sharp minor. I call it F sharp minor open. It's just my version, my name of it, because it's got some open strings at the bottom, the E and the B string, the one and first and second string basically, keeping them open during the intro of it. So what happens for this chord, it's looking at the tab for it, would be 2, nothing, or a cross, then you got 2, 2, and then you got 0, 0, okay? So 2, nothing, 2, 2, 0, 0. Nice and easy chord. So it's a good idea to get that second string muted, the fifth string muted with either your first finger or whatever finger you like to mute that note with. See it? So you notice my fifth string, it doesn't sound like anything. And then the other chord is a C sharp minor. Instead of doing the C sharp minor as normal, we're going to use the one I used from Crash, actually, Crash Test Dummies, Crash from Dave Matthews Band. It's the very first chord shape we're using that, and the tab for that is nothing on the top string. We've got 4, 2, 4, 0, 0. So once again, we've got the 2 open strings at the bottom, so it gives you a nice jingly jangly, open sounding shape. So we've got the F sharp minor, open, and the C sharp minor. Okay, so that gives you Then we've got a G. What I do with this one, I do a D chord with a G bass. Okay, and then this chord here is, normally it's the G, right? It's normally G to an A, G to an A. So we're doing this shape here, which is kind of confusing to some people to look at, but my first finger is flat over the bottom 3 strings on the 2nd fret, and my third finger is doing the note of this 3rd fret on the 2nd string. So basically we've got there's a D chord there. Normally we'd play D like that, but we're just flattening the first finger so the 2nd finger can come up and play the G note on the top string, okay, on the 6th string, which is the 3rd fret. Which happens, what that does, it naturally mutes the 5th string. So the tab for that would be 3, mute, 0, 2, 3, 2. Very cool chord. Now, you don't have to flatten that finger on the first finger. You can actually, I lift it sometimes and just have an open string on the bottom string. So what the tab for that would be exactly the same, but the bottom string would be open, okay? So G, or D with a G bass, and then to an A. Now the A, I do with the first finger, and I do a little hammer on. I do a little hammer on there on that second, so my first finger's covering the A note there with those 3 strings in a row, okay? So 0, 2, 2, 2, and I leave the bottom string, I just leave it out, and I hammer on. I use my 3rd finger to hammer on to the 3rd fret. So I go. So what I was doing there, so I'm doing the G note with the D bass, or sorry, the D chord with the G bass. And you'll notice my 3rd finger stays exactly where it is, and all I'm doing is lifting my 3rd, I'm very lazy, my 2nd finger comes off, my 1st finger just comes up a bit further, flattens a couple of notes, and I can do a little hammer on thing, then I can just bring the chord back on. That's just what I do to make it more interesting, okay? So that's what I do to that part. Now, let's get into the other part, awesomizing the rest of the song. So we've got, it's just basic B minor, A, basic D. I don't muck around to it with that part too much. Cheating to an accident and couldn't come. Just keeping it simple for that whole section, really. I don't get too carried away. There's a bit coming out that's kind of cool. And you notice I'm a bit lazy with some of my chord shapes. So I'm just keeping it basic chords, but it's all what I'm doing with the right hand, which I'll show you in a second. B flat, D, which is already hard enough. Now this bit here is which is the cool part. So instead of doing, which I alluded to in the first video, instead of doing G for the whole section, we do which is basically an A chord with a G bass. So the A chord, I'm using my first finger flat, and I'm just playing the second, my second finger is playing the 3rd fret note on the top string, which gives you a tab of 3, mute, 2, 2, 2, okay? And try to do nothing on the bottom string. So that, or you can do a G chord, start with a G chord, and then just flatten. There's different ways of going about it. So you need to go A, put your first finger on, or start with a G chord and just flatten that other note. So I'm going normal G at the end there. So A with the G bass, O, R, and G, and then you're back to the, okay? A little bit more to go, and we've got all the chords sussed for that. So the next part of that, we've got the E minor section, and then a D and A is nice and easy. But the E minor, we do like an Oasis E minor, I call it, or a Wish You Were Here E minor. So what it is, it's just like a G chord. We leave the bottom 2 notes on, and we do an E minor with the other 2 fingers. So the notes for that will be 0, 2, 2, 0, 3, 3. Okay, 0, 2, 2, 0, 3, 3. Gives you that chord, which is an E minor 9 sounding. And with the D, I do like a little finger on off thing, which is an awesomizing chord thing I do. Check out my awesomizing chords section. D, little finger on, off, and I'll maybe open 0 as well at the bottom. Okay, that's all I'm doing with that. And then G. D with an F sharp bass. That's the whole song, pretty much. So there's a lot going on there with this side of things. And the other side, which is pretty similar to all the other videos we've been doing, is we're just doing palm muting. It's just down, miss, down, down, up, or down, 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 up for the strumming pattern. Nothing really changes, but we're going to do quite feathery strumming, and we're going to use the palm of our hand to do the palm muting, about a centimetre above the bridge section at the back here, and you'll get that sort of, if I do an F sharp minor open chord, just finding the right spot to make that sound good. And so what I'm doing is I'm muting, and then I'm releasing the mute, muting, releasing the mute. So muting, release, on, and it's slowly coming off. Now what I'm doing, so my palm is on, and as I'm strumming, I'm just lightening it up. It's strong, and then it's light. Strong, and it's off. Strong, and then it's off. And it's really hard to see it, but my hand is just purely coming off the guitars. On, and it's slowly coming off. And that's giving us that cool. That intro part happening there. That's what's happening, and then from then the verse, I'm getting quite strong. Does this girl who wouldn't go and change with the girls, and so it's just muted downstrokes. Muted downstrokes. And every now and again I'll pull it off to give it a bit more colour. See, nothing too spectacular going on, but it's all just palm muting. And then maybe just open up a bit more for that part. So it's more jingly jangly for the chorus and then. So there's not a lot going on with the right hand that's too tricky for that. But there you have it. That is the nuanced version of this song. There's really nothing else that I'm doing in that song to make it particularly special. It's just about the way you interpret that. I hope that really helps for awesomizing that song. We're going to come back in a couple of days' time, and we're going to be learning something totally different that's not even part of this song, but I want you to come back anyway and check that out. I know if you've got any comments, please let me know where you're from. Put them down in the comment section below, and if you've got a question, I'd love to know what your question is, and we check those out on Q&A Fridays. Mark the Guitar Guy, signing off. We'll see you next time.